Welcome back to Trailer Trash Flips. Today I wanted to show you a few things that I bought from, two estate sales. It's really not much. And I actually just got back from Granger. I've heard some other resellers talk about Granger before being a good place to get at least some boxes. The first person I heard say that was Fat Grandma Finds. And I've dealt with Granger over the years, and Granger primarily targets industrial customers. So they don't really have the best prices on the majority of their items. But after hearing her say it, and then also Shed Flips had mentioned that they were getting their boxes from there, I was in the market for particularly some small boxes, like some 4x4x6, which the last ones that I've had, I've been able to find them at the bin store. So I've only paid a couple dollars for them. But I was out of those, and I checked with Granger. I ended up getting those boxes, and I got some packing paper, and I also bought a box resizer, and I'll show you what I got. So this was the roll of packing paper I got. Typically I'll either order from Amazon, which you can see I'm almost out on that roll right there, and I think these are $3 per roll on Amazon. And you can see the roll is shorter, and it's, well, even though it's almost gone, it's definitely not near as much as on this. And I think this was 20 something, close to $30. But that should last me for a long time. I still use a lot of newspaper and stuff for packing material, but sometimes I want something bigger, so I do use some of this also. And see, these didn't come from Granger, but these are bubble mailers using my eBay coupon, which that is a whole nother issue with these. And I'll tell you about those in just a minute. But those are my 4x4x6, and here's one that I just made up. I usually keep one made up ready to go, but I use these a lot. I use bubble mailers more than anything, but a close second are these 4x4x6 boxes. And even on occasion, I can take and I can double these up, like one here and one here, to make a little bit bigger box. But the majority of items that I sell are small. That's why bubble mailers come in so handy, and poly mailers. And then these, like I said, these boxes are a close second. I also bought one of these box resizers, and I kind of had these on my list to get for a while. Let's see, I didn't open it yet, so let's check it out. Okay. All right, a little assembly required, but let me show you what I've been using. So I've been using one of these, which is the Handy Score, and it's just a freehand box resizer. You can get these on eBay, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't have one of the box cutters that has the little score on the end, but this works just fine for some things. But I wanted something to be able to resize my boxes a little more accurately. So I think this thing here will be what I'm looking for. The issue that I had with my eBay bubble mailers that I ordered, and this is not the first time, is that Fedex apparently does not own a GPS system or even a cell phone. FedEx has consistently been the most horrible delivery service that I've ever dealt with. And I really should, I'm not going to go through the trouble to include the tracking information here, but it was so ridiculous. They actually put this out on their delivery truck on a Wednesday to be delivered. It was not delivered on Wednesday. They put it back on the truck again for Thursday. It was not delivered Thursday. They put it back again for Friday. It was not delivered. Then on Saturday, it was on the truck for delivery again, but they had an exception. They said it was a weather delay. We had perfect 70 degree weather, bright sunny skies. Never showed up. And I don't remember about Sunday because I'm not looking at it. And I don't think they deliver on Sunday, or if they do, I don't really know what their deal is on Sunday. But on Monday, they put it back on the truck for delivery, and there was an exception. On Tuesday, they put it back on the truck for delivery, and it was an exception. Finally, Wednesday, I was passing right by their terminal, so I went by there, and you can't just go in. Well, you can usually because the gates are open, but it's not like you're just supposed to walk in. There's a turnstile and there's a little two-way radio there where you can call. So I called them and I told her the order number and all that. She's like, okay, well, hold on, let me look for it. Well, I probably waited 15 minutes and it's already dark. I'm waiting. She got back. She's like, yeah, we can't put hands on that package. I said, well, it shows that it's not on the truck today for delivery, so it should be here. And she's like, I checked and I don't see anything, but let me get your phone number and I will call you back by, I think it was 7 p.m., she said. And I said, okay. And that was fine because I had to go by one of my customers' locations for a few minutes for probably about an hour. And it was right down the road from the FedEx terminal. So I said, okay. And I left and I went to my customer and I was there for probably about an hour and 15 minutes. Well, probably 5 minutes before I was ready to leave, she called and said they had finally located the package. And I said, well, can I pick it up? Because I'm going to be passing right back by the terminal. She's like, well, it's actually after hours. And I said, well, you know, it's been a week now. And since no one at FedEx owns a GPS or a cell phone and can figure out a simple address, is it just going to get lost in the system? Is it going to get sent back? What's the deal? And she said, well, she said, hold on. So she went and checked. She said, how far away are you? And I said, I'm about 5 minutes from the terminal. She's like, okay, go ahead and come by and you can pick up the package. So I went by. She was super friendly, super nice. But the bigger problem is FedEx, and I promise you 90% of the time is being conservative. Either can't find my house, they don't deliver the product, or there's some reasoning. I've had several shipments that I've had to go to the terminal to pick up. I've actually had FedEx come to my house, leave a note on the door that nobody was home when people were home all day long. That happened on 2 different occasions. And matter of fact, the last bubble mailers I ordered from eBay with my store coupon, I actually saw the FedEx truck in my neighborhood when they were supposed to be delivered on either the second or third try. And I went up to his truck and asked him if he had them on the truck, and he did. And I even told him, I said, are you the normal driver for this area? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, look, you know, this is where the house is. It's literally not even 1/8 of a mile from here. What's the problem? And I don't even remember what he said, but it was a bunch of nonsense. So I've talked to at least the normal driver here, and it doesn't seem to do any good. The lady that I was dealing with at FedEx did give me the number to the supervisors and said for me to call them and maybe we can figure out something with the routing. But it's just appalling that this has happened. I actually had a very expensive piece of equipment for my other business that was supposed to be delivered with FedEx, and they completely delivered it to the wrong house. Well, at least they delivered it. I mean, with FedEx, you never know. But I was not going to let that thing lie because it was expensive. And I would never choose FedEx to have something sent to me or even to send to a customer because they're so bad. But they did track that down because that would have definitely been an expensive claim for them to have to pay out for. There were also some alarm sensors that I ordered for the house, and they delivered them to an apartment somewhere. And now, as it worked out, the person that got them came by and dropped them off in my mailbox. And I was appreciative for that. But with FedEx, when you call the 1-800 number, you get no help. And they pretty much, the representatives on the phone seem like they want to help, but nothing ever gets done because this problem has been going on for years. So in the end, that's why I will never, ever choose FedEx to ship anything with. Even if they told me every item that I shipped, I would only have to pay $1 for shipping, I wouldn't use them. They're just not very good, at least not here. So enough venting about FedEx and the fact that they obviously don't know that GPS actually exists. So I went to 2 estate sales. I went to the first one, I ended up buying one single item, and I went to the second one and I bought multiples of a couple items. But let me show you what I bought and then I'll tell you what happened. So the first item I bought was this Serta sheep, no more counting these guys, and it's got the number 1 on it. And I think it's in pretty decent shape. There was no price on it. You can see there's the little string, but there was no price tag. So I brought it up to the checkout people at the estate sale and asked her how much. And this was on Sunday, so everything was 50% off, and they didn't really know. The guy that was there said, how about $5? And I said, okay. And she said, well, it's half off of that, so $2.50. I did comp this, and it looks like I can probably get $20 to $25 for it. So that wasn't too bad, but again, that was the only thing that I bought from that estate sale. So at the other estate sale, I was actually there with Kim, and the first item that I bought was 2 hats. I think it was these two. It was the dark brown one and the light brown one. And I don't know, they were $1, maybe $2. They weren't much. And I looked around, didn't see anything else that was worth picking up that I can make a profit on. So I brought these up and I checked out. And I was waiting for her to be done because she usually takes a little bit longer than I do at a lot of the estate sales. So I went back into the bedroom where she was there comping some items and showed me a couple things. And then I found another hat that was not with the others. It was just kind of sitting by itself, like somebody had picked it up and put it down. So I picked it up and said, well, here's another one that I'm going to get. Oh man, it's got a little bit of staining right there I didn't see. But anyway, I picked it up and we went into the bathroom, and I saw these earlier, and they are some Estee Lauder, I guess, makeup bags. There were a lot of these reddish brown ones, and there were also some of these black ones down here. And I don't know how many total. I don't really remember. Maybe around 60 of these. I don't know if they're new. They're either new or they're like new, because I didn't see anything wrong really with any of them. So I comped these. I found no sold comps. I found one active for like $8. And she's like, well, what do you think? I'm like, I don't know. I would probably pay 50 cents a piece for them and take a chance, but I don't really want to pay much more than that. So she said, okay, and she was almost done. She went to another bedroom. So I went and talked to the estate sale guy. And I said, would you take 50 cents for each bag if I buy them all? And he asked me if I knew how many was there. And I said, no, I didn't count them, but I would be willing to pay 50 cents for each bag. So he left and he went and counted them, and he came back and he said, how about 75 cents? So I figured for 75 cents, I would take a chance. And again, I don't remember how many are here. I mean, I could count them, but I think it was around 60 or so. Anyway, I went to check out. So I brought the additional hat and the bags up there, and the two girls who were checking people out, they knew I was negotiating on the deal. And I said he would do these for 75 cents each. So she said, okay. And she checked me out for the hat and the bags. And the total was, I paid cash, and a total was around $28 or something like that. So I checked out and I went to the vehicle. I see the estate sale owner walking down the road, and he's coming technically towards me. I was parked probably about 4 houses down on the street, and he's looking, just glancing. I didn't even give it a second thought. And when he gets up to my vehicle, he stops. He said, look, I really, really hate to do this, but there was a miscommunication between me and the girl who checked you out. And what ended up happening was she charged me half of the 75 cents. And it's probably something that I should have caught when it happened, but I really wasn't thinking about it. I just, the money seemed about right. So I really don't quibble over, small amounts. So I didn't even give it a second thought. And he said, she charged you half of the 75 cents. So, I didn't pay enough. So I said, well, that's no problem. I said, we can fix it. I said, I certainly wasn't trying to rip you off or anything, especially at 75 cents per bag. He's like, no, I understand. And I don't think that he thinks that I was up to anything, because I really wasn't. So I got out and I didn't have enough cash to pay. As a matter of fact, let me look up and see how much that was. So the amount was, I ended up paying him an additional $29.25. And I Venmo'd him that money. And then later on that day, he actually sent me a small refund of $3.38, and it just said accidentally overcharged you. But in the end, everything worked itself out, and I still got a pretty good deal on the bags, and he got the money that he was owed. So I got these bags, and I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get for them. I don't know. I may lot them up into 2s or even 3s. I don't really know. I may just do one and do quantity discounts on top of that. And I got a feeling these are going to be very long tail, because there were just not a lot of sold comps out there. But I've been wrong in the past, both ways. Sometimes I think things are going to sell pretty good and they don't. Sometimes I think I'm going to sit on something for a long time and they end up selling. It's about 2:45, and I need to go pull my orders and get those packed so I can get them to the post office. Okay, I've got a couple orders in the F4 bin. Let's see. I've got some of these, I don't know if it's mile or meal vacuum bags. A customer made an order for 2 different sets of these, and I have them in different bins so I wouldn't get them mixed up because they're slightly different. So the total for the vacuum bag order is $18.67 plus shipping, and of course that includes the other package of them also. Also in F4, I sold a recoil starter assembly, and this is for steel products, and this sold for $8.96 plus shipping. Also in F4, I sold some Nano EGCG extract of green tea leaves, and this sold for $16.46 with free shipping. Okay, underneath the F4 bin is the F7 bin, and I have a couple items in here. I'm trying to get this lid to stay up. And alright, in F7 I sold this Python buttstock for, well, it's a buttstock, if you know, you know. $20.21 plus shipping. I have the other part of the vacuum bags, and I did include this in the listing that I was taking them out of the box to save on shipping. Okay, I think that is all for the F7 bin. In the H3 bin, I sold some House Laboratories by Lady Gaga Lip something. Maybe this is it. Oh, that's it. Well, not much to see there, but anyway, this sold for $12.71 with free shipping. Okay, in the H9 bin, I sold something from Pampered Chef. It is coating trays and tool, and this sold for $16.46 plus shipping. In the M1 bin, so the book Keeping the Republic. Let's see, I just listed this one the other day, and this sold for $23.96 plus shipping. Okay, in the 06 bin, I sold 2 of these 2-packs of extra large pill bottles, and these sold for $19.42 plus shipping. Okay, on the LS2 shelf, I sold a magazine rack. Not sure if this is it or not. I think it is. Yep, that's got to be it. And this sold for $11.96 plus shipping. Also on the LS2 shelf, I sold a Wacom adjustable stand for something. I don't even know what it's for. Maybe like a monitor or something. Okay, catastrophe avoided. And I sold this for $27.71 plus shipping. Okay, on my haul shelf, I sold this vintage Tupperware Jello mold for $8.21 plus shipping. Okay, back in my eBay room, in the X bin, I sold a New York driver's book. Let's see. Okay, let's see. New York Driver's Workbook 2022 edition. And this sold for a whopping $3.75 plus shipping. Okay, so here is everything that's going out today. This is over the last, well, really 2 days. So this isn't too bad, I don't think. At least not too bad for me. Not this. This was actually a return. Well, not a return. It was vacant. They tried to deliver it and it was vacant. And that buyer hasn't even contacted me yet. So I don't know what the deal is with that. But I'm going to go ahead and just refund them and relist those items. And you can see I still have a lot of these chips from that one video a while back. I've opened some of them and taken the coupons out. And I've gotten a few bags of chips. But I can only eat so many potato chips. So I do need to use these up before, I think they expire either the middle or end of March. And you can see I still have a bunch of them here. So I'll use up some of them and give some of them away. Anyway, so let's see. The 2 packs of vacuum bags. Again, these sold for $18 and some change. These were bought, I believe I bought these on the same day. They were in different bins. And both of them were open box situations where this one was missing some of the little pre-filters. And this one had a pre-filter, but it was missing a couple bags or something like that. But still, all in all, these sold for $18.67. And I believe I only have $2 into all of these. This Lady Gaga lip sync set. Now, I've had it for a while. I actually had 2 of them, and it was either 50 cents or $1. I don't remember. I sold the other one a good long time ago. So this one has been sitting a while, and it only sold for 12 something with free shipping, but at least I'm getting it out of here and making a few dollars. The Jello mold, I've had it since, I think I bought, man, it's been here a really long time. I bought it year before last during, and I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but I went to a garage sale, and for like $45, I scored several large garbage bags full of Tupperware, a brand new Auric handheld vacuum, some cookbooks, a food steamer. I mean, it was an incredible deal. I wish I could have filmed that on video. But I still have some of the Tupperware. I've sold a lot of the Tupperware, but I still have some of it. This didn't move very quick. But I literally only have pennies into this item. So even though it only sold for, I think, 8 something, it's still almost all profit. The recoil assembly, brand new in the package. I paid $1 for it. It sold for $8.96 plus shipping. I recently bought that. I haven't had it more than, I don't know, probably maybe a month or so. Now, this New York driver's workbook, I've had it for a while. That's why it was in the X bin. This is actually something that I've had for about 1.5 years. This Nano EG CG stuff I've had for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months, but I either have 50 cents or $1 into this, and it sold for how much? $16.46 free shipping, so I still consider that pretty good profit. These extra large pill bottles, well, these sold for $19.42 plus shipping, and they are free to me. I'm not going to tell you how I got them, and no, I did not steal these, and they are brand new. So you can just use your imagination on how I got them. But I've sold these quite a few times. They don't usually sit too long before they sell. And since they're free to me, and these 4 right here sold for $20 plus shipping, that's not too bad. The buttstock, I just very recently bought this. It was $2. And so $20 profit on that. This book, like I said, I just listed this book last week, maybe. And it was around $23, $24. So that's not bad. And I bought this for either $1 or $2. Now this book, I pulled it the other day because, matter of fact, 2 days ago, someone had purchased the book from an offer I sent out, but they didn't pay for it. So it was sitting here. When I was packing up orders that day, I went ahead and got it out. And they finally paid, and it sold for $34.39 plus shipping. And it was another book that I'm positive that I paid $2 for this one. This wall mount magazine rack that I sold for roughly 12 bucks. It was a $1 buy from the bin store. And this Wacom adjustable stand that I sold for $27.71. I either have $2 or $4 into it. I don't know which one, but it's definitely one of those. So pretty good profit on that. This Pampered Chef coating tray and tool, bin store item. I have $2 into that. And finally, this is a Mario, is that Luigi? A Mario backpack. And I've already got it packed up here because it was another item that I sent an offer out on. And I've been having this for over 1 year. And it didn't sell for much. But I sent the offer out. They bought it, but I guess technically didn't buy it because they didn't pay. But they finally paid. And it only sold for $7.16 plus shipping, which was okay because this came from a garage sale. And I bought like a whole bunch of things for like $5. And this is just one of the things I bought. It has some very, very, very minor staining on some parts of it. And I did disclose that in the listing. And hopefully they can see that in the photos. But again, it's something that's been sitting for a very long time. So I'm definitely glad to have it out of here. So let me get all these things packed up and I'll see what my total is for these items. So it's a little bit later and I don't I don't really know what happened, but I ended up running out of time packing the orders. When I started the video, it was at 2:45 or 2:46. And I talked for a while. I started packing the orders. I did take about a 15-minute break. I ended up getting a phone call at 4:10. I didn't realize that was the time, but I answered the call. I put them on speaker, and I was continuing to pack, and I just glanced at the phone, and I realized it was 10 minutes after 4, and I'd only packed, well, I was packing the 4th order. So sometimes traffic in this area can be bad in the afternoon. Sometimes it can be really bad. The post office is not very far from my house, but you do want to leave early just in case there are traffic issues. So I made the decision to go ahead and just bring the 4 orders that I already had packed, which were the 4 oldest. Typically what I do, and I mean, it worked out here, but typically I go with the oldest order and pack it first, go with the second oldest, and so on. And I've never really had too much of a problem with running out of time. It's happened a few times, but it's just not something that happens on a regular basis. But I'm glad that I did that, because at least in this instance, I was able to get those oldest orders out first, which they were definitely from 2 days ago. I don't know if any of them that were left over that I didn't get shipped today were from 2 days ago. But either way, I do have 3-day handling, although I do try to get my orders out as soon as possible. Often same day, or usually within 1 day. But what I did notice packing the orders is that I missed something, because I'll take my cell phone and just go down on my solds on the eBay app, and I don't always go in order pulling my orders. Sometimes I get out of order because I may pull something out of a bin, and the bin underneath it has something also that I need. So I'll go ahead and grab that. So I skip around, and I realized that there was one more book that I didn't pull. But in addition to that, I got 2 more orders for books while I was packing the orders. So I'm going to go pull those now so I can get those packed up. In the 08 bin was the book that I was supposed to grab earlier that I skipped. And it is the Ultimate Breville Smart Air Fryer Oven Pro book. And this sold for $11.21 plus shipping. In the M1 bin, I sold this book here. Let's see, it is the Positive Psychology book. Now this sold for $42.71 plus shipping. In the H15 bin, I sold an Uglies book, and let's see, it's the Uglies Electric Motors and Controls books, and this sold for $12.71 with free shipping. Now this Positive Psychology book, I either paid $1 or $2 for this, I can't remember. And the book is really in poor shape. I listed it as acceptable. It's got a tear here, a tear there. It's actually got another one right here. There's been a repair on the back of it. And there is a fair amount of writing and also a lot of highlighting in this book, which of course I did disclose and I even showed pictures of. But I saw some comps on similar condition of this book, and I even priced mine a little bit lower, and it only took, was less than a week for it to sell. But apparently this Positive Psychology book, even in bad condition, is a pretty good and quick seller. This Breville Smart Air Fryer Cookbook, this was either 50 cents or $1, I can't remember. But these style books usually sell pretty well for me, between $10 and $12. And the little Uglies guide, there's different ones. This is the Electric Motors and Controls book. There's some residential wiring books. And really the Uglies books always sell pretty good. There's just not a ton of money in them. But this one at $12.71 with free shipping, I'm not going to make a lot. But if I ever run across a bunch of these, I'll pick them up, as long as they're $1 or less. Okay, here are the 13 items that I still need to ship. And of course I had the 4 that I dropped off earlier, which gave me a total of 18 orders, but 2 of the orders were going to the same person, so I'll just say 17 total. And that's between about 2.5 days. But my grand total for the 2.5 days is $296.66. So just a hair under 300. So roughly 150 a day, a little less than that, which I'm good with as a part-time reseller. I've said that a bunch of times. And if I can make 100, well, really, if I can make $100 a day, I'm actually okay with that. But I don't want to stop there. I don't want to say, okay, I just want to make $100 a day. But if I could make $100 a day, then that tells me I could make 130 a day, 150 a day. And I've seen that because the more I'm listing, the more I'm selling. So that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.